think we're live. Let's see.
Reloading the YouTube page to see.
Yeah, I'm on it right now. And hey, there we go.
And it's live.
We're live.
Oh, God.
We're on the internet.
Alrighty.
That's perfect. Let me give. Does anyone have? Oh no, this is easy. Never mind. Reload the YouTube page to see. Yeah, I'm on it right now. Let's copy the link.
Oh.
Everybody knows we're here. So I think, Roger, I think everyone else read the whole series. So this might just be the only one that we do on this series.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
But next, I think the next one that they were talking about wanting to do is World War Hulk, which I haven't read before.
I haven't read that series either.
I just know the gist of it, like the rundown, but I've never actually read the pages. So
okay, perfect. There we go.
Who's the writer?
I don't know actually. If Hulk was in here, he'd be able to tell us.
Oh, he'd be slamming us for not knowing.
Yeah, right. Is it? I don't know why, but I want to say Mark Waid. He's gonna rip me a new asshole if I'm wrong though.
Well, if it's Mark Waid, I'm gonna kick my own ass because he's one of my.
It's Greg Pak.
Oh, okay, good.
I have no idea who that is.
Kung Fu's read the whole thing. He says, "I can see the chat right here. I don't know what you can see, Hoser, but
yeah, I pulled it up on the YouTube here.
Perfect. So your boys is in here.
I should probably just.
I think I'm just gonna do a pit stop at Frank and Sons tomorrow anyway.
You should.
So I'm gonna see if I could pick up the. I want to pick up. You know me. I've said it before. I've never purchased trade paperbacks. The only one I have is the one I'm giving away on Friday, and that was a gift.
Seriously?
Yeah, I've never purchased a trade paperback. I just
wild.
I've been trained classically to buy single issues.
I'm the opposite. I only ever bought trades, and past 2 months is when I started buying like single issues weekly.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's so weird to me.
It's a different game, man. It's
yeah, having to wait for one thing.
Yeah.
Every time we pick a book, I figured out the cool way to start collecting trades is every time we do one of these book club things, then whatever book we choose, I'm just going to buy the trade of that. You know, and then see if I really love it. And then if I do love it, I'll go ahead and buy the single issues. Like, I really liked the Carnage, so I think I'm going to try to find the single issue run.
Yeah.
But I'm going to see if I can find the World War Hulk tomorrow at Frank's.
That's a good idea. I wanted to get the Carnage USA stuff, but it's like, I think it's like $60 most of the time for all 5 issues.
Yeah, the covers are really cool. It might even be cheaper just buying single issues at a time.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
I couldn't find any at my local comic shops for the single issues, and they asked if I wanted to order in the trade, and I'm like, no, thank you, I don't have time.
We're on a time crunch. Let's see.
I pulled the chat up on my phone too, so it's
perfect. Easier. So Mr. Garrel's in here. What's up, man? Infinity's in here. Infinity might be crashing soon. That's what it sounded like.
That's fair.
He's 3 hours ahead. You're 3 hours ahead too, huh?
Yeah, it's currently 11:35.
Yeah, that makes sense. We'll try not to get too late. I don't think it's going to go that long, anyways. Well, I don't really have, like I said, there's not an agenda, so we're just kind of like doing whatever. That'd be cool. I know we can get like, Hulk said 15 people in here at once, which is bonkers. So
that sounds like a one-way trip to hell.
Right?
It's not. We would need to separate it. Like 7 people need to shut up while 7 discuss, and then we got to rotate.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you have the sharing ball, or like little flags.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good idea.
It'll become a debate team issue.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
God knows an argument breaks out, and it's like hell.
But yeah, I thought it'd be cool if we get everybody at some point for one of these. But I know it's late, so we got to figure out a better time. We don't have to do this time every week. It was just
testing. No worries.
Yeah. But let's see. So one thing I wanted to bring up with it was the writer was, I know his last name is Zek. I don't remember what his first name is. I'd have to look right now, but I've never heard of him before. Sorry, Zeb Wells. Excuse me, I had the wrong thing.
I haven't heard that name either, but I'm not too familiar with artists and writers that aren't like bigger names. So
Right.
yeah,
I didn't know.
What?
Yeah. Oh,
I feel like I've heard it before, man, but it's just not clicking on any other books. That I think I've just heard it in passing.
Right. That makes sense.
Like I obviously don't know much about the dude either.
And then obviously, I knew of Clayton Crane because he does a lot of the variants right now, and he did a cool Venom versus Carnage run, like a 4-issue miniseries that was pretty cool.
okay.
That one has the first appearance of Toxin, which is like Carnage's kid.
Is that the purple one?
No, so the purple one is Scorn.
Scorn. Okay.
Yeah. And Scorn is I don't know if she's in the first issue. Do you remember if she's in the first issue of this one?
I think she's at the end of the first issue.
At the very end, they have it was a screen and it showed all of them lined up, from Venom, Toxin, Scorn.
That's right.
Yeah, I think Riot was there too.
Isn't it at the end of the first issue where they're in the lab where Scorn is, and he's like, "How's it going?" He's like talking to his lab crew, and who is it? The president or like whatever.
It was the president, I think, or some.
Yeah, the president's talking to his lab crew, and he's like, "Oh, we're working on this stuff. Is looking pretty good." And he was like, "Okay, well, I need her activated right now." I think that was it's either in the middle of 2 or it's at the end of issue 1.
Okay, that makes sense. Your boy says that she is, and if Kung Fu is talking about what we're talking about, then he says no, she's not. So we're gonna have to.
We already have Civil War.
Yeah. I like that they show like in the panel that they show all of the symbiotes in. They don't they show their statuses. So like one of them is like MIA. One of them is like I forget what. Now I'm gonna pull it up. I have
it separated on a separate tab on my tablet too, but I'm not sure if that will mess the video up.
No, I think it just sends you to audio only. And
okay.
You're good to go. Let's see. Let's clarify this. One thing that Tank brought up is what was it? The interaction between Hawkeye and the Thing.
So that's my fucking comic. It's between him and Spidey, and Spidey's like, "Okay, let me give Grim a call," and then Hawkeye like rolls his eyes and he's like, "Jesus Christ! Like, are we really gonna go through this again?" He's like, "It's the same." He says something along the lines of like, "It's the same old story, same old jokes every goddamn time. It's clobbering time." Like, yeah, we get it.
Unoriginal, like no new material.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Since the 60s.
And then what he says something about like the that blonde hair, blue eyed, like whatever. While Spidey's like getting him on the phone.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah, Infinity says like that Hawkeye was making fun of the Thing and his patented corny crap.
Yeah.
Nice. That was probably my favorite moment, like writing wise and such in the book and like reading it.
It honestly, because you look at Carnage, and Carnage isn't it's not like a light and fluffy character like a lot. Well, I think all of the Fantastic Four characters can be.
Oh, yeah.
But so like you went into it expecting like, dude, there's gonna be blood and guts and gore and killing like right off the bat, and then once they threw that in there, it kind of like grabbed you. You're like, okay, if there's gonna be stuff like this like thrown around here and there, like you really want to keep reading to see those parts.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's perfect timing too, because and Carnage is one of my favorite characters, and I like all the dark stuff. But like right before that, like there's a kid being like taken over by the Carnage symbiote in the bathtub. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
that would
not like it starts at 60, and then it like they have like the little like comedy break there with the
Who is it that did the art on this?
Clayton Crane.
Crane.
Oh, okay, it was Crane. So the cool thing that Crane did that I loved is he does it in multiple panels in multiple issues of this run. Is whenever he shows somebody being like taken over by the symbiote, and then he does like this flash panel of like them diving like claw first at like whatever they're going after.
Yeah.
He does it like 3 or 4 times, like
Yep.
maybe once or twice in every issue.
I think you're right. Yeah, because he does it right at the beginning with the kid lunging at his
He does it with the kid, and then I know for sure. I know it happens a few other times, and I know for sure it happens with. It happens again when the wife is going after what's his name, Eric, and she rips the car door off.
Yeah.
I know it happens there too.
Hosier hasn't gotten there yet.
Well, issue 1, so like.
Oh, we're just sticking to issue 1.
No. We can, since it's
no, don't worry.
I don't want to ruin it for Hosier, but we can be as.
Yeah, no, you can spoil it. I'm fine. I'll definitely pick up the other issues or read the other issues.
Perfect.
But my knowledge is just strict issue 1.
That's fine.
Well, the one of the main points that I wanted to like bring up is issue 1. The thing that grabbed me the most about this is the way, not only the way it was written, but the way the art was done in like the first few panels of the issue 1. It felt like you were watching a movie.
Because like, the establishing shot.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't just jump you into the story. It showed you like a drunk being pulled out of a bar. It showed you an old couple sitting on their porch talking about like painting the house. Like, it gave you kind of like an insight in like what the town is kind of like and why it's such a big deal that like this little town that's like so calm and collected, and they all have their routines. Like the drunk being pulled out of the bar, they were talking to him like it happens like once every day.
Every Friday night, yeah.
And then all this chaos is happening in this little town. You're like, holy shit! Like, literally, these people are creatures of habit, and then all of a sudden, this red symbiote just comes out of nowhere and just starts destroying things left and right. It really gives depth to the whole story.
Yeah, I agree. I was actually like the art kind of put me off, I think, at the beginning, and then by the end, like it was beautiful, but it was like it took me getting used to it, and then by the end of the issue, I was like, okay, this is like I'm all in. Like this makes sense.
It actually progressed. It kind of felt like they figured out art-wise what they were really trying to accomplish as the issues went on. Like, I mean, you'll see once you keep going. Like,
okay,
I feel like it gets more crisp and more distinct like as you go to the next issue.
I think that's fair. I think go ahead. Whatever.
Because I was gonna say, I definitely. For me, the writing of the first issue at least was fine. Like it was enough to like get me through the book, and I liked it. But I think the art is what stood out the most, especially like I liked how the symbiote with the bathtub and the kid. That was like I love that.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
The art beats the writing for sure.
Oh yeah. And then with the team that way they had set up, I loved obviously the thing. Well, Ben Grimm, but I loved how he drew Spider-Man. Like the outfit reminiscent of Steve Ditko to me, and the style of it.
Yeah.
What I thought looked a bit weird to me, like kind of uncanny valley, was Captain America, like his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was. Also, I'm looking at it right now. There's a panel with Hawkeye, and Hawkeye's face looks a little weird.
Like that's why I thought he looked good with the symbiotes and Spider-Man, is because it was kind of faceless or smooth face opposed to the specific face. Like this is the first time you're seeing Clayton Crane's work or knowing of his work, so I'm not sure about other things.
You know what? Now that you're saying it and I'm thinking about it, usually when we see when Venom first appeared in comics, or like when Carnage first appeared in comics, you always thought of it like, dude, it's Spider-Man, but with a more evil look, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And the way he drew Spider-Man in this Carnage comic was like, dude, it's Carnage with a good guy look. You know what I mean? Like, Spidey had that, like, I don't know what it was, man. Was it like the way the eyes were positioned?
The eyes were very
it flared up pretty high, like, and it looked like somebody turned Carnage into a good guy rather than every time we see Venom and every time we see Carnage we think of, oh, it looks like Spider-Man, just a bad version, you know? This guy, like, the way he drew Spider-Man was like, oh, it's Carnage or it's Venom but turned into a good person. It's the opposite, which is pretty cool that you said that, and like I just realized like what it kind of looks like.
That makes sense. Going to the chat real quick, Infinity says the humor in that issue really stood out in all the horror and gore, which I think that's a good way of saying that.
There's like 2 pages of the where they first bring up Hawkeye with the apple on his head and say, oh, I'll get it for you, don't worry.
Yeah.
You'll regenerate. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, come on, man, aren't you made of metal? Like, you'll be fine. And he's done this millions of times.
Kung Fu doesn't like the faces. I kind of feel that, like
I said, with the Captain America thing and the Hawkeye.
The mask stuff I think looks great. And I was gonna say, one of the things I was gonna bring up is I think that on the flip side of that, I think his symbiotes are like crazy looking, like really, really strong. Like those are like some of the best drawn symbiotes I think I've seen like in a while.
If you really pay attention, like the line work and the detail of all the intertwining like roots of the symbiote taking somebody over, like he covers full panels with just like these weaves and ins and outs and tumbles and stuff of like this thing just crawling inside of someone and taking it over. Like the imagery on that is really well done.
Yeah. It's like it's fluid. Like it looks fluid.
Yeah. It goes perfectly. Like the way they placed it, where and how the page is structured, like it flows so well.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what's the ugliest thing though in the whole book? Is Hosier spoiler. I'm gonna be as discreet as possible, but when a certain flag-faced guy is laying on the ground and he calls a certain code,
yes,
that panel when he's like half gone is really, really not well done at all. That's like I think the weakest part of the book.
I don't
art-wise.
I gotta look at it because I don't remember.
Can you tell me what issue that is? Because I want to search it up too.
I think it's 4.
No, he calls him in 3 though. At the end of 3.
Okay, so it's 3. It's 3. It's at the end of 3.
I'll pull it up quickly, but how do because I'm also gonna get to see now, but comparing Carnage to the other symbiotes like Venom and such being bigger, do they look more distinct between each other with his art, or they kind of end up looking the same?
So, there's at the end of issue 2, I believe, you're introduced to basically like a symbiote special forces team. It's super badass. It's like a normal special forces team that the government took control of. I think it's hybrid symbiotes. Like hybrid is 4 different symbiotes, I think, and so they take all of his symbiotes and give each one to a different like member of this spec ops team. But they're all like human sized. Those ones are. And then the only Venom you see in this is Agent Venom. So he's a normal.
Flash. Is it Flash Thompson? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So like they're all pretty much of equal size. The biggest thing in this book is the Thing.
I literally just got to the panel with Agent Venom and all that.
Where he like that one panel where it shows him like full body like in all his glory is I think that's my favorite Agent Venom drawing. That's a killer drawing.
It does look really good.
There's a part where it's because you see Venom in that issue at the end of that issue, like in all his glory, like Necro said, and then I think in the next issue where he actually shows up to kind of help out. Me and Necro were just talking about it before you hopped on, and there's this part where Spider-Man looks up and he goes, "Oh crud, it's Punisher dressed like me.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I think I just got to the point here.
It's great, man. The first issue, honestly, like it was good, but
It just gets better. It just goes
better and better. Yeah, exactly. Like there's this. Have you read Old Man Logan?
Yeah.
There's the symbiote T-Rex in that one.
Yeah.
There's a symbiote gorilla in this. And
they
like,
made him look so badass.
Oh, it's crazy. And there's like a carnage like giraffe. I think is it a giraffe?
Yeah, it's a giraffe, and the thing is holding him off.
That's right.
Captain America turns around and goes, "Did we get everything, or is everything all right?" And he was like, "I'm kind of fighting off a symbiote giraffe, so maybe give me a minute."
Yeah, it's really good, man.
Well, definitely have to find a trade of it, or even just the issue if I can.
Yeah.
But just looking through them, because I just quickly skimmed through some of the other issues to find that hilarious panel.
Yeah.
But one thing that definitely stands out, did Clayton Crane also do the covers? Because the covers look really nice.
Yeah,
the covers are what is the reason I want to buy the single issues.
Yeah, they're super nice. It's
like even.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, even looking at the covers, just want you to make you want to open the book and see what's inside, because they look really crisp, like well done.
Yeah, I like the what is it, the Uncle Sam one where he's like pointing at the
issue 2.
Yeah,
so good.
I like that one, and what's the when he's saluting? I think it's number 5.
Yeah, that's 5. I just pulled it up. Yeah,
that one looks really cool.
Yeah,
I like 4 where it's him just kind of like doing this, holding Spider-Man up, and they don't forget to vote.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. If you buy this whole miniseries single issue like near mint, you can slab these yourselves. Like, I wouldn't send these books to get CGC'd, but but like those
the comic skin.
Yeah. If you get the skins, you can definitely display these, and they look really sick.
100%.
Even just getting because it's 5 of it's 5. I was gonna say if it's like a nice round 6, you can probably get them in a nice frame.
True,
but
if you take them to a store like Michael's or something, I'm sure they could do that.
5's a weird number though, yeah. Let's see. Kung Fu says, spoilers, the ape is pretty fucking awesome.
I keep forgetting to look at the chat. It's such a weird
the ape
thing.
The ape.
When I saw that panel of him like jumping, like over headed for that lab, I was like, God damn, I really want a King Kong movie, a symbiote King Kong. Like, it would be so dope.
I'm gonna find the issue so Hoser can look it up. It's
your boy, because he found it. What do you know? What issue or it's in?
I think it's
or what page it's supposed to be too.
It might be 4. I'm looking right now. Man, I really like that symbiote team. What's his name? Your boys brought it up. There's one called Lasher.
Lasher?
Or it's the dog. It's the name of a symbiote dog that one of the guys uses.
Okay.
It's one of the guys in the special forces.
Mm-hmm.
He has this thing. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Is it Necro? I didn't read it yet, but the new Venom issue that came out this last Wednesday, is it the same dog?
No, it's not.
Okay, like, do they not give it the same look in that book?
No, in that one, it looks like a black like pit bull almost, like a normal dog, and then it kind of like gets crazy when it gets mad.
Yeah. Your boy says it's issue 3 towards the end, so.
Oh, okay.
Let's see what this looks like.
There's something
for the ape.
Yeah, no, the panel you mentioned.
Oh, the Captain America one. When he's on the ground. Yeah, it's the end of issue 3.
Is it the one where his mouth's open or the nose shot? Because
either or, pick one.
Because both are pretty.
It's not the cleanest. Like the whole book, you have like your bar was set pretty high right off the bat because he did a fantastic job with the covers, and then like he killed it up to that point. And then I got to that panel and I was like, oh, you kind of slacked on this one. Like,
yeah, I definitely see what you mean with this. Like, you do when you have art that's that good, you do have the slip ups, and they are very noticeable. Like that picture of him with his mouth open is reminding me so heavily of. Did either of you read the Injustice comics or?
Yeah.
You know that okay? Well, there's a panel of Batman that was originally because it was a digital comic before they printed it, and there's a picture of Batman punching a post, and his mouth, his teeth are so bucked, they're bigger than his head almost. It looks really bad. I'm sure everyone has seen this.
Well, you know like, the Dark Knight. You know how Frank Miller drew the cover of what is it? Dark Knight Rises. Was it 2 or 3? Where like.
Is it the one where he's crouched like this, or do you mean?
Yeah, when he's crouched. Like, imagine that, but how big Frank Miller drew his arms. It's like that's the same size somebody drew his teeth in this image.
Oh, I can see it. I just found it.
No, because it was originally released digitally, and that's what the artist did. And then when they released it into a trade paperback, they shrunk his teeth. they redid the face.
That's so funny.
See that I see that image. Yeah, that's what it instantly reminds me of.
Who's in the chat, guys? I can't see any.
Your boys is talking. He says the teeth is the funny one. Barbarian said the names of the symbiote guys. So one is Phage. I don't remember which one that one is. Oh, that's the sniper.
Yeah, the sniper.
And then there's Riot, which is like the stealth guy. And then
Riot, not Root.
Where'd that quiet one go? That's him, right?
Yeah, that's Riot. And then there's also Agony, which is the one that has like the chain gun from the helicopter.
Okay.
Which is crazy. There's something else. So you were asking about that Web of Venom book actually that came out last week. Did you read that, Hoser?
I have not kept up with that stuff. No.
So there's something that almost that whole issue actually sort of reminds me of this series a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's something because Cates is writing Venom. I feel like it's something that he took like inspiration from. So I don't know if he's I don't know if he's doing anything with it or like whether he's connecting it to this thing for a reason. Because I know he's done that in the past with like Thor and shit like that.
Oh yeah, he does. He definitely picks and like from little things from the past and intertwines it.
I also don't know if this is within I don't like continuity. I don't think it is because it's a limited series, but I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be sure if it's part of the is 616 the Marvel. It's just the regular Marvel universe.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't kill Cassidy off at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
He's in a jail, and then I think in the top left corner of the panel is what does it say? I forgot. If one of you guys can look it up, but I mean, it's kind of set up to where he can make an appearance in another Kane's book. You know what I mean? Like it could definitely happen.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that that led me to believe that maybe it was in continuity is the fact that Ben is in his Future Foundation outfit.
Oh,
that's fair.
Otherwise, I guess maybe Crane just really likes the Future Foundation. I have no idea.
Or that.
Well, at the same time, yes, he's in his Future Foundation, Hawkeye and Captain America are just in their traditional outfits.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it could also be style. Like he said, like he just likes that version of it. He decided to put in.
Right. That's actually one of my least favorite things about the first issue because I think that whole outfit for the Thing is so ridiculous. Like if you change the color of his shorts, then sure, but like he doesn't he looks like he's on a wrestling team in high school. That's what it looks like.
Maybe that's why Hawkeye really didn't want him to show up actually because he's been rocking that out for the past week or so. He's like, I don't like
right? Infinity was also wondering if it was canon or not. I'm not sure. I wonder if there's a website that you can just like go to like is this canon?
Is it canon? That'd be a good website? Maybe the Marvel Wiki. Maybe.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure. I'm not really good at figuring that stuff out.
I thought Infinity might have fallen asleep already, so because he was laid back in the chat for a while.
Yeah, right. I was thinking, quick aside, I don't think, Tank, you don't read a lot of Daredevil, huh?
No, man. I just started. Like literally day one when the club kind of all gathered in that chat, and then like I was never. I don't know why it just never. I never really got into Daredevil, which is weird. Like I think he's cool. I never like not liked him at all. Like I mean, I was just indifferent about him. Like I didn't love him. I didn't hate him. I just never gave him the time of day. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then Issues was like, dude, at least like watch the Netflix show before they take it down. And I watched it, and I've been like binging ever since. And then, like, which was perfect timing because they just started the new run of the Daredevil. So, I mean, I just hopped on it now, and I mean, so far so good, man. I can only say positive things about it.
Did you finish season 1 yet, or were you?
Roughly? Oh yeah. I just finished season 1 like 2 nights ago.
Okay.
So actually, I think my wife's like grabbing a whole bunch of snacks and coming upstairs. I think we're gonna start season 2.
Good idea.
Season 2 is it's a tie between season 2 and season 3 for me for my favorite.
That's what everyone says. That's what everyone's saying.
I love really quick. Actually, we can get back to that really quick. Something in the chat. Kung Fu said, so explain to me, when did Cassidy lose his legs? I remember Agent Venom and how Flash lost his legs, but I didn't know Cassidy lost his whole lower half.
Yeah, same here. I know Flash losing his half. I didn't know Cassidy did either.
So Cassidy in Avengers number 2, he gets ripped in half by the Sentry. And then in the beginning of before this series, there's a Carnage series by the same creative team that did this one. So I kind of want to read that. I haven't read that one yet. And they show, I think he's like floating around in space or something like that. And they like pick him up, and then they give him his like, I think in this they describe it as like he has like a symbiote, like he has fake legs that are helped by the symbiote somehow.
Wait, isn't it the? Wait, who does?
Cassidy.
Isn't it the opposite? Doesn't he tell? What's his name? He tells him like, oh, you're a double. It says he's a double amputee, and that like, oh, it seems like I don't need a symbiote to work my legs, and
that's what he said. That's what I thought, but then he like his legs like fall off, and he's like, oh, I guess like I needed them after all, or maybe like,
so I guess maybe. Yeah, that panel was weird. Like I didn't pay too much mind to what it was, but he does say something along the line. What are you laughing at? What's going on in the chat, dude?
Just on my mind, I'm just thinking, because I don't know about that part yet, and how Necros is like, oh, my legs fell off. Well, I guess I needed them. And I'm like, oh, I bet that's a pretty good panel.
Yeah, it was like, oh, I guess you needed the symbiote so you can walk, which I mean, kind of tells me that he doesn't.
Right.
But then all of a sudden they get ripped apart from him, like.
Yeah.
Like swinging from the fucking chandeliers, coming down and stab the guy. Like,
yeah,
it kind of takes a really heavy turn right there.
Carne or Kung Fu says it's circuitry. That's right. It's like symbiote circuit something. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, back to Daredevil. The second season is dope because I don't know. The second season is just great, and I like Punisher, the Punisher season a lot, but I just like Daredevil so much more as a character. So the second, like both those 2 seasons, the second and third season are crazy.
My problem with second season Daredevil, well, Daredevil season 2. I love the Punisher part of the season.
Right.
Now the other half with the Hand Electra, I felt was done a bit weird to me. That's why I don't think it is as good as season 3. But
Spoiler,
obviously,
jerk! I'm over here like
well,
tiptoeing around Carnage USA for you.
well, well, you're gonna forget. You're gonna. I'm just mentioning. To be honest, you'll probably forget by the time you get to the season 2. You'll be so into the season, you'll just be like, oh, what's going on again? What Casper's?
I think that's fair. Infinity says that it dragged a little bit the second season.
That's fair.
So,
You know what though, man? If just what's the actor's name that played Fisk? Who played Kingpin?
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, dude, give him all the awards, man. Give that guy everything. Holy crap! I don't think I've seen a better Kingpin, honestly.
Oh, he's so good.
I heard because I didn't see Into the Spider-Verse, and I heard that version of Kingpin is like super dope.
Okay, I watched that movie 3 times.
Oh shit!
In theaters, I went by myself. I went with my best friend, then I went with my brother.
That's awesome.
It's the most comic, like what we're used to seeing. That big block body with the circle head right in the middle.
Right.
And the shoulders and back rise up over the head.
Right.
How we see it in the books. That's exactly how he is in that movie.
That makes sense. Have you seen?
That movie should get all the awards. I don't give a shit what anyone says. That movie was the best movie of the year, man.
Was the voice actor for Kingpin in that the same as the Spider-Man game? John Goodman?
No, the voice actor was Liv Schreiber.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Infinity says the Spider-Verse Kingpin was cool too, but looked more like a Goomba monster.
That's true.
That's funny.
That's funny.
That movie, you guys seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you have to, man.
No.
You have to.
I get like gnarly vertigo. Like I'm on like medication for it. So like I saw the trailer for it and I was like, fuck, I want to see that. And then there was a part where like Miles like jumps off of a building and like it
blacked out.
Guy down, and I was like, yeah, there's no way. I gotta wait for this to come out so we can watch it on my TV.
To go watch it in 3D and just take a shot. What happens?
I'd black out in the middle of the
Nice.
But yeah, I heard this is an inside tip from one of my buddies who's a big like toy collector. He really doesn't collect comics unless they go with like the toy he buys and he just wants to like display the comic behind it. But he's just a big toy guy, vintage, like from what time period you name it. This guy collects toys. He was telling me that they're actually gonna do like a $750 collectible statue by Sideshow Collectibles.
Oh shit.
I'm not sure how true this is because I tried to research it. I didn't see anything on the internet. But apparently they're going to do that whole scene where it's like the cityscape on both sides and it's Miles falling in between.
That's cool.
They're going to do that whole thing in like this huge like collectible piece that's going to be like $750, $800.
That would be insane.
That'd be
that's what I heard. Even though like I tried to search like maybe leaked images, something like maybe like
just in the conceptual phase right now because the movie just came out.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, this guy has like pickers for toys left and right from like every company, so he got some inside info that hasn't been released yet, or maybe it's just like you said in the larval stage. It's the concept.
Barbarian was saying in the chat, "Tell me it's Spider Ham, like a $750 Spider Ham statue."
That'd be crazy.
You know what, man? I'm sorry. I'm not paying $750 for a Miles Morales like falling in between two buildings, but I'll pay fucking $800 for like a maybe 3-4 foot statue of Spider-Man. Like I'm down.
Have you guys seen the Miles Morhamus? I think.
Yeah.
Imagine like a life-size version of that, like the realistic look, like that horrifying pig face.
What they need to do is one of the fan favorite stars of that movie is the Spider-Man Noir, and they need to make this huge statue of that guy. That would be cool. Dope.
Kung Fu says he'd buy that shit all day long if it was Spider-Ham.
Yep, definitely.
And then Infinity says he thought he was on mushrooms watching that movie.
Dude, honestly, it's like it's what you would think a comic book would look like if it was digitized in like a slideshow form. Like it's literally like you open the comic book, but you're watching it digitally on the screen like a movie. Like they do everything when he's swinging, it says thwip like on the screen. When something crashes, it says boom and stuff like that. Like,
Well, that's
and then
really cool.
Yeah, they actually use like Kirby dots in some of it, and like they break up scenes and panels and like move to different panels. Like the way they made it is incredible. It won a couple Golden Globes, I think.
Yeah, it did. I saw that. It's a one of a kind. It looks like a one of a kind like animation. Like I've never seen anything like
it's gonna go. I mean, I don't know if they still do like animation stuff during like the Oscars, but if they do, that's gonna take all of it, man.
I think it's just at the Oscars they do best animated movie. That's it.
Yeah.
They don't have it in a special
that's
effect.
for sure gonna win an Oscar, for sure.
Yeah, I can't think of any other animated movie because did
Well,
Pixar
there's all
release
like
any
these
movies?
little ones that like we kind of don't hear about that are like internationally big.
Wasn't Coco this year? I feel like that one would be up in the running.
Oh, was
No,
that this year?
I think it was last year because it won an Oscar.
Oh, okay. Cool. Your boys asked if there was any cracooms, like the exploding.
Yeah, I mean, from what I know, they did a whole bunch of that shit. It's got to be in there somewhere.
That's what, yeah, I'm really excited about seeing it. But what were we talking? Oh, sorry. We were talking about Daredevil. Yeah. So I had a couple ideas. So me and Tank were talking about before we got on. We were talking about like the content that would be cool to like be able to like put out through the club. And I would love to do a Daredevil thing. And I know Infinity knows about Daredevil more than I could. Like he's significantly more versed in Daredevil, and you're probably more versed in Daredevil than I am too. But I love talking about it, so it'd be cool. Anyone that wanted to hop on and talk about Daredevil, we could just talk about Daredevil. I know Barbarian has a significant Daredevil collection too, so he probably knows more than me. But I was talking to the owner of one of the owners of my LCS. I was talking to Paul Tank yesterday, I think, and we were talking about Daredevil for like 30 minutes. And actually, he was talking about Daredevil. I was just listening to him talk about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's like when you're talking to Paul.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought I knew. Like, I've had discussions with this guy over an hour about the Flash, and I thought I knew a whole bunch of shit about the Flash. Yeah. And I just end up sitting on the stool listening to this guy just talk to me for an hour.
He's crazy, yeah. But I'd love to get like a Daredevil show where we just talk. Like, it'd be cool because we can go through the new series that starts, I think, in February. And then we could like go.
Is there a new issue of that line coming out tomorrow?
So there's a 5-issue miniseries right now called The Man Without Fear.
It's
that's right? The one. That's the one that just released last week.
Yeah, it is. I didn't hear what you said, Jose. What did you say?
They're doing it weekly.
Yeah.
Each of the issues. Issue 2 came out last Wednesday.
Yep. Did you?
Necro, did you end up with like the problem with number 1 and 2 where like the number 1 wasn't available 2 weeks ago when it should have been?
Yeah, they said my LCS said they didn't get any, and then I went to another one and they had it. It was really weird.
Oh yeah, I went to both of mine.
So both of
by my old house, and I went to Paul, and they didn't have them.
Yeah, but they had them. They got them Wednesday. Were you there Wednesday or the previous Wednesday?
Last Wednesday, I was there.
Oh, weird. I went in yesterday, and they had the yellow cover for issue 2.
Man, that guy's like a low key spot for variants, man.
Dude, he's awesome.
Did you guys have that problem?
Well, my issue is I go monthly for my comics, so when I got it was like nothing happened. But when I did I had stopped in Wednesday, just one of the comic shops, just looked inside for whatever reason. That's when I picked up the yellow cover for the issue 2.
Okay.
Just
I
thought they
love
had
that
the grip.
cover.
This one.
Tank's got it right next to him. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that one right there.
I
Who
love
did the
that.
cover for that? I
I
don't
have
know.
no idea, to be honest. There's a shit ton of covers for the issue one, like for the issue one of the ongoing that's coming out.
Let's see.
Yeah, I have only seen the regular covers, which look really nice. I think one variant, like Issues might have posted a variant I saw.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited about it. That issue 2, did you have a chance to read it yet?
My stack is huge. I need to sit down tomorrow and clear it out because I think I still have like, what is it? I think I still have Superman issue 3 to read. Like
Oh shit.
I have a lot of like backlog, and man, I'm like slacking.
It's
Man, same here. I have a stack
that issue
that needs to
almost
be read.
the first one I was kind of whatever about. I didn't really like it too much. It was fine. That issue, the second one, took me completely off guard, and it didn't do that until the very end of the issue, and I almost had like a I don't want to say like a tearjerker moment, but I got a little bit emotional at the end. Like it's really good.
Like choked your throat. You're like,
Yeah, exactly. That's really really good.
I'm gonna hold on. I'm just gonna try to scope out who did this.
The cover. Your boys said since we're doing group reads after we do a stream talking about it, we could do a poll if we would recommend this series or not to them on the main club page.
that's a good idea.
I like that idea.
That'd be cool. Like let the followers pick our next read.
No, sorry. It was more of like a like whether we'll keep it in our poll kind of thing.
Like recommend reading it.
He's talking about. Barbarian says he probably doesn't know more than any of us because he's slightly illiterate.
Well, that's what his pictures ran.
Yeah, Barbarian.
Okay.
The issue 1 was decent. Issue 2 is better for sure.
So, the info I got, Man Without Fear #2, Kamenkoli connecting variant.
Yeah, there's another. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know of that person. I've never heard of them before, but
yeah, probably like a freelancer that came in and did one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That'd be cool. If it's a connecting variant, then hopefully the other one is just as nice looking as this one.
Quick aside, because someone mentioned in the chat earlier, obviously, like for people mentioning like they haven't really know much about Daredevil, like Born Again, all these are big stories are pretty like self-explanatory, but someone mentioned Kevin Smith's run on Daredevil. It's actually pretty good.
That's the only time that I've picked up a Daredevil comic, and the only reason I picked it up was because it's Kevin Smith. And I and the only reason was my buddy had the trade paperback of that run, and I opened it and I cracked it, and it was cool, and I was interested in it, but then, I forgot what other books I like dove headfirst into and I got lost into, and like I kind of forgot about it just because the character didn't mean that much to me.
Oh, it happens. Oh yeah.
I haven't read that Kevin Smith one, but I like Kevin Smith. I think is that one Marvel Knights.
I think it is Marvel Knights.
So
that makes sense. Infinity.
His Hit Girl series is dope.
Is what?
Is Hit Girl?
Hit Girl.
I didn't know he did a Hit Girl series either.
Yeah, his Hit Girl series is really good.
I've only watched the movies. I haven't read the actual comics, but that's on my list. So
Kung Fu says he's got to get up in 5 hours, so he's gonna head out. Later, man.
All right.
Later, Kung Fu.
Infinity hasn't read the Kevin Smith run either. Your boy says the artist of that Daredevil cover did the interiors for Superior Spider-Man and Death of Dracula, and I haven't read either of those. So
that actually, I mean, when I was flipping through it right now, that makes a lot of sense because when you flip to the center panel, you're not going to get that from another artist that didn't do Dracula.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it'd be cool to do a Daredevil show at some point. I don't know if Hulk is still in here, but I think it'd be cool if I'd at least like to get a spec post out of Hulk for the Immortal Hulk stuff, because he has some like crazy. I think he has some big picture thing like planned out. Like he knows the future. Hulk knows what's going to happen in Immortal Hulk. And I would love. I know we talked about it in the chat, but sometimes it's hard to keep up with everybody talking.
Oh yeah.
But and then the other thing I thought would be cool is getting Infinity to do a like anything related to Endgame right now, because he has a bunch of cool ideas too, and he knows all of that like Infinity War stuff better than I do. I don't know how I don't know how well anybody knows that stuff other than him. And then we can I don't know if anybody has like ideas for stuff like for content. I'd just like to be on here because it's cool to just talk to everybody. So I don't know if anybody's got ideas, just shoot them at me.
Yeah, Daredevil. I definitely would like to jump on that one.
I think it'd be cool for
I'll just
people
sit here and twiddle my thumbs until they decide to do a Flash movie.
Yeah, it's gonna be sooner rather than later, right? It has to be.
Now, what's it called? I'm curious, Tank. What's your thoughts on with them doing the Flash movie? I think the idea of doing the Flashpoint right away is probably the worst idea
No,
for
man,
like
they
a
should
solo
not.
movie.
What they're doing, the reason they're planning on doing that is because the CW show did so well. So they're like, oh, you know what? Like, they're everybody now, majority of people are pretty well versed in the Flash because the TV show is doing so well. So we could jump straight to the Flashpoint. But then they did Flashpoint episode, like they kind of did a Flashpoint mix in the TV show, and they just did Elseworlds, and I heard they're planning to do Crisis on Infinite Earths. So like, I don't know how they're gonna do that properly and chronologically. They should not do that at all.
Yeah, I mean, I when they announced that too, I didn't want them to do that. I thought they should have just etched in. I saw why they mentioned that because they wanted to soft reboot the series, like the movies. But now with Aquaman doing what it did and Wonder Woman coming out, I think they should just skip Flashpoint and just do a solid Flash movie to get investment back in the character.
Yeah, like I was listening to a podcast today. I think it's called like Comic Geek Talk or something, and they were doing a review about the Aquaman movie, and the Aquaman movie just made over $1 billion. I think it's jumping into like what the top 3 grossing movies. I know it passed The Dark Knight, and I think it's going. The list right now is like it's coming up to Infinity War, which is pretty crazy.
I think Infinity War is at 2 billion worldwide.
Yeah, Infinity War I think is number 3 on the list after Titanic and Avatar.
Jeez.
Avatar I think made like $2.8 billion.
That hurts my soul. I do not like that movie at all.
Well, like you can't say it's not visually stunning. It's ridiculous.
That's true.
But so like this movie that DC just, which is a character that people just shit on. I mean, let's be real. Like,
yeah,
nobody ever takes fucking Aquaman, and like even from the old Justice League cartoons, the whole like nobody takes that shit seriously. They all make fun of this guy. Then all of a sudden they get this hulked out Jason Momoa to come in and play like the coolest version of Aquaman you've ever seen. All of a sudden this movie's making $1 billion. So from what I heard on this podcast is I heard they're planning to push all the rest of their movies back because they're going with their bell cow.
Interesting. I mean, it kind of makes sense, I guess, right?
Yeah, but like, I mean, I'm with Hosier on this where you got to get other characters into the mix. If you're planning to do this whole thing right again, if you're trying to rewrite your wrongs of what you did with the Justice League movie and what you did with Batman vs. Superman, like if you're planning to right all these wrongs, you got to give every character another shot to develop themselves and get into the public eye and like be loved just like Aquaman was loved right now. Like, look, man, if people spent $1 billion and can give the effort to love Aquaman, you can pull it off with the Flash, who's a much more relatable and lovable character. Like, you can do that. It's not far fetched. But now that they realize that, oh, we put so much thought into it, and we got the perfect director for this movie. Like, I mean, this movie did the director, what's his name?
James Wan.
James Wan. I mean, the guy that did like the Saw movies. You would never think he'd come in and do it, but
yeah,
he had like this visual idea where like he ended up to be the guy they needed. They need to do that for the rest of these movies. They need to take their time. They need to make sure they're taking the right steps, also the right precautions, and not put out a fucking bust. Like, it would just be sad if you have the Aquaman movie leading the charge on like this Justice League story they're trying to tell. That would be borderline ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, it's funny with the James Wan thing. He pretty much just did horror movies and then Furious 7, but then Aquaman.
Yeah.
And Shazam is the next one that comes out, and I'm like super excited for that. And what's funny is the director has only done horror movies, I believe. So if that's successful, I think DC should just hire horror directors to do their movies.
I think that's a good idea. I didn't know that the Shazam guy was a horror guy too.
Yeah, I don't know his name. It's like I think it's like a generic name, but he only did like low budget horror movies. I think it was.
Tell me how badass it would be if you got like Quentin Tarantino to do this Flash movie.
Dude,
like
what the villains would be great.
That'd be crazy. Have you guys seen the trailer for Brightburn?
No.
It's like you got to watch the trailer. You can watch it when we get off of this. It looks, if you like horror movies, it's like I thought it was Superman when it first started.
Oh, it's James Gunn's movie. His essentially horror Man of Steel.
Yeah, exactly. It looks crazy.
Like if you watch the trailer is like a mirror for mirror shot of Man of Steel's trailer, and then
I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you watch the first Man of Steel trailer and that side by side, like with the farm setting, everything going, it's pretty shot for shot.
That's crazy. It looks really good to me. But I like horror stuff.
Well, I guess because the alien in the background.
Yeah, exactly. There's an It poster right next to it. But
oh yeah.
Well,
if Issues was here, he'd be named
Universal movie.
Yeah. I was saying if Issues was here, he'd get mad at me because behind this is the divider, is the Cosmic Ghost Rider original art.
Oh, that stuff is nice, man. I gotta get a little like glass thing, like you. I like the levels that you do, like where it's like themed levels. I think that's super cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna sit in front of that, but I couldn't get the table set up. I just wanted to sit on the couch.
Yeah, it's easy. Well, it's 9:29. We've been going for almost an hour, even though it doesn't really feel like it. I don't. In terms of Furniture USA, Hosier, you should finish it because it's really good.
Yeah, I will definitely go through that before we start the next. I guess before we start
for a kick the club off, book like group reading, like it was a solid run, man. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm glad that it was as good as it turned out to be. And then I think what we can do is, I think World War Hulk is 5 or 6 issues.
Okay, that's not bad.
I mean, Hulk would know better than me. Hulk also said that Aquaman and Gleek were on the same level for a while. I think Gleek is like that purple monkey thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Infinity says he never made it through Avatar as well, and I mean that's fine. I don't have
to. Infinity's also down to talk Thanos and Captain Marvel and like Kree Skrull War. Oh, he says we should talk about the Kree Skrull War around Captain Marvel time. I think
I've never actually. Well, I know all. Not all. I know about the Kree Skrull War, like the stuff from the timeline. I've never actually read all the the stuff around it.
Right.
Like, so I think we need to plan to get Infinity in here, and we need to do an Endgame pregame.
I think
Endgame
yeah.
freak.
I think Infinity would be down. I know he just got killed at work today. And then Hulk says it was 5 issues for World War Hulk. So if we want, we could take like a week break so everybody can who hasn't finished Carnage can catch up if they want, just so they can for their own edification.
Did Hulk just hop on?
No, he's been in here the whole time. He's just been quiet.
Oh, shocker!
Probably catching up on that that Squirrel Girl. I know a new issue came out last week.
He's diving in that new issue, man. It's a first appearance.
He's gonna leave the chat now.
Yeah. He's probably cutting. You know what he's probably doing? I'm like, all jokes aside, he's probably cutting out the Miss Marvel cover from last week so he can put it on his wall. Is probably what's going on. But yeah, I think giving everybody a week will be good to catch up on some reading, and then in 2 weeks, Hulk says he hates me. I'm sorry. And then in 2 weeks, on the 29th, we can do World War Hulk. So we have 2 weeks then to read World War Hulk.
Oh well, we'll have some con news for them that episode too.
That's true because that's right. We're going to me and Tank are going to go to a small local con on the 27th.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe we'll get some good pickups.
What's the name of it?
It's the Pasadena Toy and Comic Convention.
Oh, okay.
Should be pretty cool.
Yeah, they do it at the the Pasadena
Convention Center.
Convention Center.
And I think Hulk is going to send us out properly. He says that we're all on the list. So
finally, thank you, thanks Hulk. I've been trying to get on this list since I joined this club.
I think Hulk's shit list is it never stops. It just keeps growing.
He has more people on his shit list than he has comics collected. Let's put it that way.
Probably. He's got a lot of comics too.
Surprisingly, like 74% of that list is just issues, like repeated issues.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah. Like the Shining type.
Yeah,
exactly. All right, cool. Well, I mean, this was easy. Now I know how to invite people in here. So
just send in the link.
Yeah, exactly. And we can get as many people in here as possible next time.
Yeah, it's way easier than like we could do these if we figure out game plans and there's always something that like, hey, we want to hop on the YouTube and talk about something. Like once we get people that are like consistently following, this is so easy to do. We could just knock these out.
True. And then if I think in the future, instead of relying on the chat, the group chat to make sure everybody knows of time and stuff, I'm probably just going to send stuff individually so we don't it doesn't like disappear.
Don't get lost into the void.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, this was a solid test run, man. Like, at least next time we know it's going to go smoothly, and we could like blow it up on Instagram all week leading up to that episode.
Yep, exactly. And I have to make sure I don't want to like encroach on other people's shows' times because I know there's stuff all the time. So we'll just figure out.
That's probably the only thing that's gonna be buggy figuring out is time zones and times of other people doing stuff. And...
I mean, all we got to do. I mean, like. Everybody's trying to do an own show, and I mean we're fairly new to it. So, I mean, I'm sure there's hundreds and thousands of other people that are fairly new as well. I'm sure if we're not stepping on any big toes, like I mean, if we know when like, the boy who had 7 or like Bueller and like all these big names that like are well known in the community, as long as we know when they're doing theirs and we're not stepping on their toes, I think we should be fine either way.
Yeah, that works for me. Your boy says that now he knows we can do it on phones and tablets. He'll join in, so that'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
All right, cool, guys. I'm gonna go eat dinner because I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Well,
all right,
I'm
man.
gonna pass out and hope I wake up in the morning.
There you go. All right, see you guys.
All right.